In today's video, we've got a pretty cool graded card submission return from OCE Grading. If you really want to see what the cards look like, please skip ahead. I'll put a chapter down below. I'm going to talk a bit about the process first. So if you want to see that, skip ahead. If not, let's get into it. Now, to give you some context, this is a sponsored video. These guys did reach out to me and say they wanted to grade some cards for free for me so I could do a review on my channel for them. Now, some of you might be a bit surprised to hear that, given my thoughts and things I've shared around some of these new grading companies that have come up over the last year or two. Now, most of you guys are in the States, so hearing OCE might be a bit surprising to you, but they're a graded card company here in Australia. They're one of the new ones that have established during the boom. And like I just touched on, you would have heard me, hate on so many new graders because, when they've come in, they've done things wrong, right? They haven't gone through the right process. They've come in up front and, charge ridiculous prices to try and cash in on what PSA were doing, or not doing, I should say. Same with BGS, right? They came in and saw a gap in the market because everybody was shut up shop, and they were like, okay, let's charge $40 to get a card graded. So when these guys reached out, initially I was a bit apprehensive because my thought process was like, oh, well, here we go. Another one of these new companies in Australia that are here purely to take advantage. I did a bit more research before I did decide to, accept their offer. And that was primarily because, number one, I like to look at their labels. I thought that was pretty cool for some PC stuff. But the thing that, gave me some really good insights into them was their pricing. Their most expensive service, which is the Express service, is $20 a card. Their cheapest service is $8 a card. So when I saw that, that told me almost everything I needed to know about them. And it's a bit hard because they are so new, I couldn't delve into like a bit more information. But looking at that, looking at their Instagram, seeing their approach and the fact they've changed labels and like the fact that they're listening to customers and seeing submission returns from a few people that have used them already, it highlighted a few good things to me. And just seeing this $8 price point, and yes, it is a 20 card minimum, but even then, $10 to get a card graded is the cheapest in Australia. Previously, before that, you'll see those slabs there. They're from Card Grading Australia. They're who I use for my PC stuff here because their lowest price is, I think, $13 or $14 a card, depending on the volume you send through, or $15. So these guys are head and shoulders the cheapest ones. And I know I rambled a little bit there, but the key point here is that it looks like to me that they've come in and tried to do the right thing. They want their grades and their service to speak for itself. They're not here to take advantage of customers and charge $30, $40 in the effort to try and cash in on some educated people that don't know. There's some other graders here in Australia that do that, as an example. I'm not going to name names, but these people don't know that when they get their card in that slab, it's not going to do anything internationally. Just because PSA charges $30 a card doesn't mean these guys can. The reason why PSA and BGS and SGC can charge those prices is because they've been grading for so long, so they get value behind their name and it means something to use them as a service. So these guys coming in and charging these affordable price points tells me that, okay, they know where they sit within the market. They're here to do the right thing. They're going to, take it slowly but surely and try and win people over. And then, if people do start to use them and their grades do be fair, which we'll look at in a second to see how accurate their grading is, maybe then they can start charging more. But the fact they've come in with this mindset is basically what all these new graders should do. There's a gap in the market at this price point. Come in and do the right thing. And then hopefully, people start using you long term. But don't be one of these people that come in and, charge ridiculous prices up front to try and trick people into using you because you think, oh, well, PSA charges the same price. Let's go with these guys. Next minute, these cards aren't worth anything. Anything outside those big three graders, right? And I'm sure the guys at OCE know as well. People are not going to value these the same as they do a PSA slab right now. Maybe long term, who knows? Maybe they will, who knows? But they're not trying to pretend that they are. They're here, from what I've seen, to do the right things. That's a little bit of a rant, so apologies for that. I just thought I would share that up front just because I thought, you guys might want to hear that. So let's look at their packaging. So overall, it looks pretty good to me. It comes in one of these branded boxes. It's blue. Their labels used to be blue. Almost look like a PSA slab. Previously, they've changed it up to have subgrades and things like that. So this is what their old labels used to look like. I actually liked the look of them. I thought they were pretty modern looking, but as you just saw on the webpage, they've changed them to look like this, and they've got 3 tiers. So anything below an 8 will get an ivory label. Anything 8.5 to 9.5 will get a silver label, and then anything 10, whether it's gem mint or pristine 10 with all 4 subgrades being a 10, or like in this example, a 10 grade will get their gold label. So I think it's pretty cool. I like the old ones, but I like the new ones, so it is what it is. But like I said, that's some sort of like good thing that they're doing, right? Because if you look at their comments on this, they talk about listening to their customers and things like that. That's, good starts for businesses like this. They're not one of these guys that are coming in to take the piss. So this is what you get, a box that looks like this. Pretty cool because it's sealed, got a tab on there. So, you can't get scammed. You can't say that this box has been tampered with. So let's have a look. So I sent in 10 Dragon Ball Z Series 2 and 3 gold hobby cards. So they're not sports cards. Oh, bump the camera, sorry. So if you're a sports fan, there's not going to be anything here for you, so I do apologize. But these cards do look sick, so I'm very excited to have these in my PC. Awesome, they're face down, so I can see a silver label already. I'm not expecting these to get good grades, to be honest, because these cards are notorious for how they're out of the package. They're quite poor. One thing these guys do that, you know, I think all the US graders don't do, and the graders here in Australia do this, they'll send you your not your one touches, sorry, your card savers and your sleeves back. Now, like I said, I don't expect to see any 10s, but let's see how fair their grading is. Apologies for the noise. Get this bubble wrap off so we don't see any of the grades, and we can check them out together. Straight off their bat, their slabs feel pretty good. They feel very similar to Card Grading Australia's, but a little bit sturdier, I would say. I'll do a review at the very end. So I cut the video there. I haven't looked at the grades yet. I just wanted to turn the top light on so you could see the slabs and the cards a little bit. I realized my lighting was a bit dark. So we've got the first Super Saiyan Goku here, which it looks like G1 from Artbox Series 3, 8.5. So centering got a 10. That's really good to see. This is their silver label. So it looks like, you know, everything is a silver label, which is good. The edges let me down on this one. So if you look at the back very quickly before I jump onto the next one, you can sort of see some chipping. That's quite standard for these cards. That's how they come out of the pack. It's almost like the print production on these is quite poor. Like I've been searching for many months. This is like to get these 10 cards, it's been like a, you know, 6-12 month effort to find them in perfect condition. Okay. And this is the best I can do. So I'm not surprised to see these grades. They seem pretty fair so far for this one. 8.5, pretty good. I've got a second one here. Let's see if this one did a little bit better. This one is 8.5 as well. They got, this one is a bit better because it's got better surface. So you got 10, 9.5, 9, and 8. That's 10, 8.5, 9, and 8. So I'll be keeping one of these for the PC. So this one will get kept for the PC. This one I'll probably be giving away or selling. But you can see just how cool these gold cards are. They're so good. They're so underrated. These cards sell for peanuts. Yes, they are pretty common, but they're hard to find in good condition. And most of these cards, like I said, took me 6 to 12 months to get. I expected them to get PSA 8, 5s, and 9s, to be honest. That's what I'm expecting out of these. So far, those grades seem fairly on point. I expect surface and centering to let me down on the Series 2 the most, to be honest, because they're notoriously worse than the Series 3 cards. So this is a Goku from Dragon Ball Z Series 2 art box. You can see I know because G1 is Goku. Nice, we got a 9.5. So that's pretty fair. So the centering was a 9 on this one. You can see how it's pretty poorly centered left to right in terms of the border. Goku himself is centered in the middle, but you get the point. And these Artbox Series 2 sets are my favorite. You can see there that, you know, the texture on them is just phenomenal. These look so good in person, and they look so good in these slabs. These slabs are phenomenal. I really like them. G2 Vegeta is my favorite card in the set. We got a 9. Nice. Very hard to find in good condition. So funnily fact about this, these slabs look like they're in pretty good, and it looks like the cards are sleeved in there as well, or maybe not. It looks like they are sleeved, which is good to see. Fun comment on this. PSA graded one of these, or PSA 9, I was for sale on eBay. However, you looked at the card in person, the chipping was so bad on the card, it wouldn't have graded PSA 8, a 9 again. And it's because the cards move in their slabs. This card is not moving anywhere in this slab. That's really good to see as well. But this card is phenomenal. Very keen to go on the shelf. I'll do a comparison to CGA slabs I've got here if you are Aussie based and you're keen to see how they go. So this is another Vegeta that I got. 9 again. Which one had the better subgrades? Depends what you value more, corners or centering. This one's got 3 9.5s and 8.5. This one's got a bit of a mix, so we'll see. This one I think is Krillin. Pretty cool looking card. 9, very happy with that. Corner is a bit weak there, but that's probably why it got downgraded. So the corner itself is not bad. It's just the foil is slightly coming off. Well, that's how the card is, so I think that's a pretty fair grade. G5, Zarbon, another 9. Good to see. G7, I think this is either Piccolo or Gohan. Piccolo, 9. Again, a great looking card. You can see, like, even just a print run of these between them, the texture on this one, on the Piccolo, I should say, is a little bit better than what you're getting on the Zarbon. I pulled those both pack fresh myself, right? So it's pretty crazy. 8 is Gohan, and he got an 8, which is very disappointing. Surface is quite poor. You can sort of see there the spots. I think it's above his head, and the line next to his head just there. You can see that's why it got graded so low. Very disappointing, but that's so common for those cards. And the last one, a 9 for Bulma. So there's a few more. I basically want a full set of 10. So you can see on the shelf over there, I've got the silver versions of these cards. So to give you some context, you've got 1998 Dragon Ball Z Series 2 gold foil. these came in the hobby packs. So the hobby packs and the retail packs had exactly the same cards. The only difference is the hobby packs had 10 cards per pack with a gold insert, and the retail packs had 6 cards per pack with a silver insert. So the gold packs are definitely more rare and they're harder to get in good condition. So I'm chasing like a set of 10. So if this was the retail version, it would have said silver foil because the cards look identical. So I'll do a quick comparison. If you're Aussie and you want to see, you're just undecided on who you want to grade with, you can see here we've got Card Grading Australia on the left, Slab, and OCE on the right. I 100% straight off the bat prefer the Slab of OCE. It definitely feels sturdier in the hand. It doesn't feel much heavier. It just feels a lot nicer. CGA slabs feel cheap and they feel like PSA slabs. So if you know what a PSA slab feels like, you know it feels cheap. This feels like a bit of a mix of, you know, PSA and CGC. So you can see there, that's the difference between this is the silver version, right? And this is the hobby version. So retail, hobby. You can see that the cards are exactly the same. They just have a gold prism background instead of the silver. So I really want these, you know, all slabbed together with all 20 shown. So that's the plan. And then we've also got a Vegeta here for you to do a comparison as well. So cool looking cards. The gold, the texture on the gold just looks so good. The problem with these, with straight out of the pack, you'll get some, you can see that texture, right? And some of them just come out smooth, which is like shocking. I don't understand why that is. I don't really have any here. Like you can tell this Goku, it's a bit hard to see because on camera they look very similar, but in person, the Goku is definitely a little smoother than the Vegeta. Too much glare, so you can't really see. But these slabs are really cool. I really like their labels too. You can sort of see there the Series 3. Different background, but still very, very cool. So overall, so before we go any further, I realized I forgot to talk about the label in a little bit more detail. So you can see up close, it actually looks quite nice. The font looks quite good. They are paper, but they have that shimmer image on the front. I spoke about the front, but I haven't spoken about the back. So you get your little OCE authentic label to make sure that, you know, it's not a fake. But then more importantly, they've got, you know, the serial number on the back, but then the QR code. So I forgot to talk about this earlier, so I'm coming back now. You scan that with your phone, it will actually take you to their pop report. So it won't take you to the exact card, but it'll take you to the search bar. So you put in that number and it'll show you the pop report for that specific card, which is a really nice touch. And, you know, to get that sort of functionality at this price point is also really good. Another fun fact with regards to CGA, this is one of the new label CGA slabs, is that they've got a QR code too, but their QR code doesn't actually take you to the pop report, it just takes you to their website. Whereas this, you know, very cheap price point, new company, like I said, doing all the right things based on what I've seen so far, the QR code takes you to there, all right? It is what it is, right? So when you see stuff like that, that's another tick in the box for them, for me as a business. I'm very excited to use them long term. You know, so overall, really, really impressed with them as a service, as a business, to be honest, because like I touched on at the very start when I spoke about why I deemed it to be okay to use them as a service and to take them up on their offer, was that, you know, their pricing was really good. Their website looked very professional. Their packaging looked very professional. They seem to listen to their customers on their Instagram, right? They've changed the label because people didn't like them. People wanted subgrades. So look, like factoring those and then seeing what I just did when we unboxed those cards, you know, I really liked them. I think if you're an Aussie and you're not using them, I think you're a little bit silly. Like I'm very tempted to, you know, resubmit all my CGA slabs to them to get them all in one slab now, because I think their grades are most definitely very fair. They're very, very fair. Or at the minimum, they're on par with CGA. And CGA, from what I've seen for those 10 cards, maybe they'll struggle when they do huge volume, but I'm not sure. If they keep doing what I've seen, I think they'll be fine. You know, CGA have been around the longest, which is why I value them the most. But I really like these slabs a lot more, and these labels go a long way for me. I'm very OCD. I like all my stuff to be the same, so I'm very tempted to crack those 10 slabs and send them into them. So we'll see how things go. But overall, I'm very impressed. And like I was just touching on, if you're an Aussie and you're not using them, I think it's a bit silly. You've got these other graders here in Australia, I'm not going to name their names, that charge a fortune when it comes to, you know, non-sports trading cards. And it's like crazy whether they're charging 30, 40, 50 Australian dollars. Mental. And from what I've seen, their grades are actually not that accurate. And I don't want to call people out. I've touched on that in the past, but that's how I view things. I'm a very skeptical person, as you guys know if you're a regular on the channel. For those of you that are in the States or here in Australia, you'll hear me call this stuff out all the time. So the fact that I've seen all these things that implied to me that they're doing things for the right reasons is really good and very, very refreshing to see. So many graders we've seen come up in the States, in Australia, in the UK, in Europe, that are purely there to take advantage of their customers over the last 18 months has been very disappointing to see. And these guys appear to be, you know, one of the few to try and go about it the right way. So that's really good to see. Like I touched on earlier, if I didn't, I don't remember. I'm under no obligation to be positive on this, right? They just paid for these 10 cards. You know, I could have turned around and hated on them completely and rained fire on their parade if I didn't like what I saw, but I didn't, right? I liked what I saw. So my recommendation so far is going to be, if you're an Aussie, use them. I think you're silly not to at that price point. $8 a card, $10 a card. You are so silly for not using that, because everything else is at a minimum $6, $7 more expensive a card. That's crazy, especially for PC stuff here in Australia, right? There's not too many things that are going to give your card value. So if you're looking for protection, purely to encase your card and keep it on your shelf forever, and basically keep it, because top loaders can be a bit sketchy sometimes with cards maybe falling out or getting damaged because they're super thin. I think you're silly not to use this service. And who knows, this might blow up in my face. These guys might turn around and crap the bed down the line. I don't think that's going to happen. But if it does, it does. Based on what I've seen, these 10 cards that I've seen, and from what I've seen on social media, their grading is very fair. I like what they're doing. I hope it continues, because we need things like this to go about it, doing things the right way. We need people to be disruptors, as I've touched on many times in the past. We need people to enter the hobby, graders to enter the hobby and do it for the right reasons. These guys look like they're doing that. I'm very, very happy. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, what you thought about the slabs and the labels. Overall, I think their labels look really good. Their slabs are clear. They don't have that frosted stuff that CGA slabs or PSA slabs have. I like it. It looks really good in hand. The photos and video did not do it justice. Get your hands on it if you're an Aussie. I don't think they do it internationally, but maybe it's worth reaching out if you want to try and cash in on that low grade price, because everything is so expensive these days. Very fair. I'm very happy. Hopefully we see more of it on the channel. I might send some more PC stuff in. Who knows? Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.